Hey, Jamie, it's great to be back with you on our Digital Summer Clinic Spotlight. And this time, we're going to be doing something called Mentor Live. Now, to give everybody a little bit of background who may be wondering, gee, what is this that just popped onto my screen? I'm Bud Gibson, director of the Center for Digital Engagement at Eastern Michigan University. Each summer, we put on a summer clinic in conjunction with Ann Arbor Spark. We have 48 student interns working with 24 companies, and those internships are mentored. I'm a mentor, Jamie's a mentor, and we're going to focus on mentors today. So, Jamie, who do we have to talk with?
Today, we have our two executives in residence, Eric Wortman, Senior Account Manager at Google, and Jerome Mccree, Account Manager at Pinterest.
Great. Well, I'm going to let you three take it away.
Great. Thank you both for being here today. We're going to kick things off by just having you tell us a little bit about yourselves and a fun fact or two. Eric, we can start with you.
Hi, my name is Eric Wortman. I currently work at Google. I've been there about 5 years. I'm typically on their ticketing live events team, working with a lot of sports and entertainment clients. I'm a proud graduate of Eastern Michigan University. Fun fact, I have two dogs named after, I don't know, literary devices or grammatical instances. We have one dog, hashtag dog, we call him Tag, and the other dog, we figured we'd continue the trend. So our other dog is named Oxford, comma, and we call him Oxford. So two little guys running around.
That's great. Terrell?
Nice, that's amazing. Hello, everyone. My name is Jerome Mccree. I am also a proud Eastern alum. I currently work at Pinterest. I've been here about 2.5 years, and you'll find me on their automotive team. So great to be here. And then I'd say a fun fact is my name actually comes from Superman's dad. It's actually pronounced Jor-El. But I was telling the team earlier, I actually dropped the apostrophe about midway through because I didn't like writing that apostrophe on Scantrons. It was too much work. So now Jor-El or Jor-El, what doesn't really matter. Either one works, but that's usually the question I get right after I say my name. So just to kind of break the suspense, yes, my name is from Superman.
Great. Again, thank you both for being here. So, Eric, this past summer was your first year as executive in residence for the clinic. Can you talk a little bit about why you wanted to get involved and what you enjoyed most about your role?
Yeah, I've had decent bit of history with the clinic. I've spoken to previous groups, previous over the past few years, previous instances of the clinic. I've always really enjoyed networking with the students, meeting the students, giving them a little advice. And so when I had the opportunity to come on as executive in residence, I was really looking forward to being able to work more directly for a longer period of time with the students. I know how important kind of networking and guidance and mentoring is, how big of an impact that had on my career and kind of where I am today. And so I always like passing along some of the good advice I've got from people. And so I was really pleased to have the opportunity to, get to know all the great students and see their work and kind of see them progress and overcome a lot of challenges. So it was something that I, as soon as I had the opportunity, knew I wanted to do it. Really looking forward to doing it again next year.
Great. And I know the students all commented on how much they really appreciated all of your advice over the course of the semester.
Well, I'm just appreciative that they listened to me for a few weeks. So I know it's not easy over Zoom or VC hangouts for the summer.
Sure. And Jarrell, you're coming on this summer as our executive in residence. So, and much like Eric, you have been very active with the Digital Summer Clinic over the past few years. What made you want to increase your level of involvement, and what are you looking forward to in regards to this role?
Yeah, so I kind of, as you've already spoken, I've been able to have the opportunity to come back and speak to previous cohorts that have been through the summer clinic. I credit the summer clinic to much of the success that I've been able to see within the industry. So I'm always passionate and really excited just to come back and speak to the students whenever I can. I'd say just seeing how unique this opportunity is in the industry and specifically within Southeast Michigan. So to be a part of that is just an honor. And I think I really hope just to, kind of add to the team, just to bring some more diversity in terms of experience, thinking, and work style. I met Eric and Bud probably almost 8 years ago. And I remember even since then, I've been in constant communication with them through my career today. So I just really believe in everything that the center has going on. And I think it's an awesome time to jump in because I think it's a unique time in the industry and a great time for students to jump in.
Great. Okay. So please start asking questions on Facebook. I'll ask a few more questions here, and then we will get to all of your questions. So go ahead and start filling in your questions so that we can make sure and address them as we get closer to the end of our session today. So this year, as you mentioned, Jerome, has been a year of kind of change. There's lots of upheaval in digital marketing and everywhere. Talk to me a little bit about how you see digital marketing evolving in the next couple of years and what you think the summer clinic can do to prepare students for that evolution.
Yeah, I think the first thing is the unique opportunity that digital marketing presents is just the layer of personalization. So I think as more and more products come out that we use in our personal lives, like personalization is at the center of all of those. So digital marketing is going to be increasingly more personalized. So that's a huge opportunity in itself. But I think over the past few months, what we've seen is consumers who may have been even slower to adopt, like digital first solutions have tried new things. Like almost everyone has probably tried online grocery shopping, and we have students learning digitally right now. So I think it just really creates a new opportunity for businesses of all sizes, really to, if they weren't involved in digital, to start, and then businesses that were already in digital to go bigger. So I think it creates a perfect opportunity to either reimagine how you do business or start a new way of doing business.
Okay, great. Eric, same questions.
I think marketing and digital marketing specifically has always been about figuring out what channel, and as Jerome mentioned, how can I personalize my targeting, my ads, my messages to that channel, that to the people on that channel, and what are the strengths of a Pinterest, of a Google, of a Facebook, of a YouTube. And so that's what we've been working towards for the last 10, 15 years of digital marketing. There's going to be a shift in the next few years where, as we see, there's more privacy options and the control over your ads and what data you share with companies as users become used to adjusting that and controlling that data more. And so that's going to restrict some of the historical data and signals that we previously have had. But what we still can do is utilize what we call first party data. So the data that companies actually have. So emails of their previous purchasers, membership club, basically just anybody that they know that has volunteered to give their information and is okay being on a mailing list. So utilizing that data, whether you're a giant company or whether you're even a small little startup or a tiny little consultancy firm, using that data and the insights that you know about your consumers, I think there's going to be more an opportunity to use that across various platforms, and that will be how we kind of target and reach people. So there'll be a shift. We'll still be going through the same things, but there's going to be a lot of new ways, as some of the old ways to reach people are kind of sunset and aren't available anymore. Reaching people in new ways using your own data is going to be really interesting over the next few years.
Great. And the summer clinic, under both of your mentorship, will give students the opportunity to do some of that.
Definitely. Working directly with companies, being able to ask them questions about their data, about how they reach people, about their consumers, is a great way to have obvious hands-on experience.
Great. Can you talk a little bit about some of the characteristics you see in interns coming from the clinic that would set them apart when they apply for jobs at companies like Google or Pinterest? Eric, I'll let you go ahead and start.
I think whenever I talk to our people ops and our hiring team, they always talk about they want to see candidates that have had a lot of impact in any role that they've been in. So it's one thing to kind of participate in something, but if you're really having a lasting impact, that really stands out and makes them a very good candidate to apply at Google. And I know a lot of other companies look for that as well. And what I was so pleased to see is so many of the interns this past summer came in, provided like process docs or workflows. So they didn't just complete a project. They really kind of helped the companies shift the way they do things or implement a new process. And I think the companies that they work with, a lot of them are more on the startup side or are open to being very agile and shifting things. And so even though these students, hadn't even yet graduated, their skills and what they've learned so far was able to have a great impact on the company. And they were able to, identify things that they implemented and then measure the impact with a lot of like really good numbers, sales, increased users, increased social media engagement. And so being able to have that experience on your resume where in a matter of a few short weeks, I was able to change the way a company operates their business. That's something that's incredibly important if you're looking to apply to a company like Google.
Mm-hmm. Jerome?
Yeah, I think that's spot on. What makes this program unique is it's like Eric said, it's more than a project. I know there are some internships where it's like spend all summer putting together a project that you probably present on the very last day. In this position, they're going to be a part of companies that are primed and ready for growth and are very receptive in most cases to what these students have to offer. And I think in addition to that, they're actually going to be paired with, a built-in network of their students that they get to work with, Eric and I, Bud and yourself. So even from day one, they're ready to start solving problems and being able to take that experience and then communicate it to the organizations that they choose to be a part of, showing that they're teachable, able to think outside the box. It's a truly unique opportunity that I think really sets them apart.
Great. You've both mentioned networking as one of the benefits. Can you discuss some of the networking opportunities that the summer clinic brings to students, again, beyond the mentorship aspect of that? And then give some recommendations for networking in today's kind of COVID environment. Jerome, we can start with you.
Yeah, I think one thing that this program brings is we bring a lot of professionals straight to the students. So built in, every week or every other week, there are going to be professionals coming in from all over that the students get to meet directly. One of my first jobs out of Eastern was because Eric actually came in and was networking with me there. It's where he gave advice of how I can get in the industry. So it works. In addition to that, I think what makes it unique is right now in a COVID world, a lot of people are still, working from home, which makes it very easy to network. I think it's a lot less daunting than like to say, hey, I met you, like you're looking on LinkedIn and you're looking for different positions and you write them up and say, hey, I'd like to hear your story. That's a lot easier than walking up to say like, hi, my name is, like that's in this digital world. I think if you see a message and somebody's able to say, hey, somebody wants to hear about my story, it's very easy to say yes versus, for me personally, in-person networking was always a challenge. So I think digital provides another option. In addition to, I think always there's going to be industry networking events that they can do as well.
Okay.
Yeah, totally agree with what Joe mentioned or what Jarrell mentioned. Everybody's at home, so it's easy to get a hold of them now. No one's traveling for work. No one's doing anything. That might pick up a little bit in the next few months, but people are always very gracious, more gracious than you would typically expect. But now you have an even bigger opportunity to connect with people. And then I always think of networking as a long-term solution or a long-term relationship. So it doesn't mean they're going to be able to connect or do something for you immediately, but you then have your network and then you're able to use that network over time. So you can reach back out to people that you've connected with months, weeks, years from now, and just keep them updated. So building a relationship with someone at the beginning of your career, kind of going through an internship is a great time to start.
Great. Thank you both for taking the time to answer some of my questions. We're going to have Bud jump on and share some questions that have been coming in from viewers.
Okay, great. And we have quite a few. So I'm going to start with one from Allie Graham. And she asks, and this is the kind of question I get all the time. I'm going to assume she's a journalism major and people sort of wonder, gee, how can this fit me if I have major XYZ? So she asks, how can this clinic benefit journalism students? So have at it.
If you're a journalist, you probably enjoy words, you enjoy writing. A lot of advertising, a lot of marketing requires words, websites. So you'd be surprised how ill-equipped a lot of companies are to develop copy. And if you we always say hire the talent, train the skill. And so I'd encourage you to kind of think of, okay, what are the raw skills? What are the baseline functions that I'm learning going through journalism, and how could I potentially apply those to maybe help the company, things like helping the company identify what they need to do. So asking good questions, developing good copy, helping out with the website. So there's a lot of kind of raw skills that if you just apply that to just about any sort of business, you can contribute.
I'd even build on that point too. Is like, I think journalism, there's a way to use this clinic to learn how to know what to write about. Like you said, words. A lot of times, like trying to find the trends of what are the questions that people need answers to right now. I think in this clinic, you'll learn from industry professionals how to use tools like Google, Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, right, to find some of the conversations that need to be had that you can potentially start.
Okay, great. Well, we actually have sort of a follow-on to that question from Sufjan Krunfla, who is another mentor in the summer clinic, does not have a profile picture on his social media account, so not following best practices there. But his question is what advice to give students who want to apply for the internship, but at the same time, they are hesitant to do so. So I think this is kind of like Ali is saying, well, gee, how could I take my skills? And Sufyan is saying, well, a lot of people are going to have hesitation, and I've certainly seen that. And so what advice do you guys have?
Yeah, for me, it's interesting because when I actually first got involved with, earlier versions of this course, I was in a completely different industry. So I wasn't really sure what direction I wanted to go. So I took a chance and I joined the class, and it ended up changing my whole outlook on what I could potentially do. So I wouldn't have been here in this position if I didn't take that chance. But I think kind of what Eric mentioned too is like I feel like digital marketing has so many different facets to it. It's pretty possible that no matter what field you want to go into, there's a way to use some of the skills that you can learn in this clinic for that field, if you don't think that digital marketing ultimately is for you at the end of the summer.
If you get accepted, you can always say no. So there is zero risk to apply.
That's very true.
It's similar. Think of it as like, if you're going through a job search, even if you're going through the interview process, you are also interviewing the company. You are learning to see if this company is a good fit for you, and not just if the company will take you. I would take the same approach with this internship, where going through the process, applying, there's a lot of great opportunities. And as we kind of saw this past summer when COVID, the pandemic kind of shifted everything, this organization, this internship was structured well enough so that it could pivot and move everything online. I think that kind of shows the quality of the program and the people like Bud and Jamie that are involved. So I think it's a good organization. It's a good structure. It's a good program. There's a lot of good opportunities. So apply, do your best with the application. And then as you go through the process, you'll learn even more. I would not expect you to say no if you did get accepted. But again, no risk on your part. No reason not to apply.
Well, people do sometimes get full-time jobs or things like that as they're applying to us. So people do say no, but I think those are great answers. And we actually do take many students who do not have prior work experience beyond, say, they were a lifeguard or something like that. So, we're looking, did you do stuff in clubs? What have you done in classes? What are maybe volunteer activities you've done? So, I think that's exactly the right attitude. We'll close off here with Issa's, I'm assuming that's how she pronounces her name, question. What do you recommend a student to practice before applying for the internship? So even though I just said that we take people who don't necessarily have experience, there is something about presenting yourself that's important. And I'll let the interns, the mentors speak to that.
I would say think of, regardless of what role, job, class you've taken, think about the kind of the basic things that give you, joy and that you're passionate about. So what are the components? If you're a lifeguard, is it helping people? Is it, being able to, work with younger people? Is it, if you have an internship at a library, is it the access to information, something like that? What are kind of the core things? Really take some time to think about, okay, this is really why I like this. This is why I think I'm good at this. This is why I would like to use this internship to investigate kind of these skills and these potential roles and see how my passions and skills, regardless of my experience, kind of the passions and skills that I've identified through my previous life experience, how can I apply those to a company and, get a few weeks of experience before continuing on my career?
Yeah, I think that's a great start, because I think as you know yourself more, I think it'll help you try to figure out like how you're going to approach the internship once you get in. Because I think there's so many different things that you can do once you actually meet that business that you're going to be partnered up with. So you can figure out, like, are you more of a talker, or are you more of a person who's not that, you don't like to talk that much, but you like to actually just be heads down doing work? And I think then you could approach the internship in different ways. So I think knowing yourself is going to be great. And then I think meeting that prospective business that you're going to work with, helping them to understand who you are, will only help your relationship from there. So that way you can say, like, hi, I'm outgoing, I'm not outgoing, so that way they know how to kind of engage you throughout the summer.
And I would recommend also that as you're applying, think about, okay, what are the things that I could do in the internship? Because when we're looking at this, the question that we're asking ourselves is, okay, where could we potentially fit this person? Okay. And, so if you've done a great job organizing events, and you talk about organizing events, then we would look for company online or in person. Now, obviously, more online than in person. We would tend to, look for putting you in that kind of role, and that would be the natural thing for us to do. So think about that end too, and we've got plenty of material talking about the types of things we can do, and just make your best case for who you are and how you would be able to operate effectively in the clinic. And I think that's the best way to go. So Jamie, I'll turn it over to you here to lead us out.
Thank you, Eric and Jerome, so much for joining us today. We have benefited tremendously from your content. For the rest of you, those of you that are watching, please tune back in at 5:30 for our company spotlight, featuring Jessica Willis, founder and CEO of Pocket Nest, and Tom Willis, co-founder and partner at Phoenix Performance Partners. That's it for us. Thank you.
Hey, thank you.